Okay guys, we're back here at the incubator farm, and this is a really exciting growth stage to be at. So last week we were at hooking, which is where the initial tubers will start. And so this week it's pretty exciting because we're at a very critical growth stage where our tubers are becoming initiated and a lot of cell division's happening. So we're gonna check the timing of our calcium nitrate application because this is a very, very, very critical time to apply your calcium. And the reason that this is so critical is actually for later in the season, because we need high concentrations of calcium in that tuber as those cell divisions are happening, and calcium is very important in that, and that actually goes all the way back to tuber health during storage. So we're going to check plant growth stage here and plant health, and then we're going to make a plan for applying our calcium so that we have sufficient calcium all the way until the French fry reaches the processor. So pretty exciting stuff here. Let's go check it out. I'm Brady Stover. My passion is agriculture, agronomy, and sharing my experiences. Join me on my journey through the Pacific Northwest. So as you can see, we have a lot of small tubers. So all of these were little hooks like that had a stolon, and that stolon continually goes through cell division to create these little baby tubers. And this is what we call tuber initiation. And so right now, all of these tubers are going through tuber initiation, and what's happening is they're dividing their cells constantly to make all the cells that will be in this tuber, and then during bulking and mid-bulking, those cells actually just elongate. And so after tuber initiation, all of the cells that will be in the final potato have already been produced, and then they will just bulk and elongate to make the tuber be anywhere from 6 to 14 ounces. So that is why calcium is so important right now, is because it is needed during that cell division so that we have healthy cells, and high concentrations of calcium will reduce any disease such as internal brown spot, which is basically the cell did not duplicate and it broke, and then that cell will rot, and during elongation it will cause a small hole in the middle of the tuber. It also helps with cell integrity, and what that means is that the cell wall will be stronger and it will be able to grow and stretch, and it will seal to the cell next to it, and there will not be any loose cells. So it also helps with bruising at harvest because the cell walls are stronger, and then it also helps with the breakdown of things such as soft rot, which can happen either in the field or in the cellar itself. So high levels of calcium help with all of these internal diseases. One of the factors of applying the calcium is that calcium actually only goes through the plant through its xylem, and it's only brought up into the foliage one way, and then when it gets to its area, it stays there. So it's pretty much immobile in the plant once it reaches its destination. And that happens through the transpiration. So anytime this plant goes through transpiration, more calcium will come into the plant. So that's great for plant health on the tissue side and some of the stresses like heat stress and drought stress. But down here in the tuber, in order to get calcium into this tuber, from the work of Dr. Palta, we know that it has to go through the stolon itself, so it does not travel much. So what that means is that we have to feed calcium to these tubers in proximity to the tuber. So these tubers don't move in the hill, so when we deplete the calcium around this tuber, we actually need to fertigate with a soluble calcium and put calcium right back near this stolon so that it can go into the stolon and give the tuber itself the calcium concentration that it needs for the things that we talked about as far as internal brown spot and storage rot, such as soft rot, pink rot. And there's a lot of studies out there using soluble calcium nitrate that can solve a lot of these problems. So I touched on the basics of why we're applying calcium right now at tuber initiation and throughout tuber initiation. But if you'd like to know more about what calcium's doing on the cellular level and some of the intricacies of it and how it could benefit later on, please let me know in the comments below, because although we're in a potato field, all fruits and vegetables go through this same thing. With apples, pears, tomatoes, all of that cell division that happens in all those fruits and vegetables goes through this calcium experience just like the potatoes do. So please leave a comment if you'd like to know the cellular level and the intricacies of calcium